Woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. My rock sweeter, beneath the one I love. I don't know how, don't know why, I've been toasting all my life. Oh, it's sweeter. Woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. My rock sweeter, beneath the one I love. I don't know how, don't know why, I've been toasting all my life. Oh, it's sweeter. Woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. My rock sweeter, beneath the one I love. I don't know how, don't know why, I've been toasting all my life.
Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea-Dune Race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion.
Welcome to Phillip
wearing his
Island,
familiar
Victoria
navy blue
in
and white,
Australia.
great
What a
waddling
setting we
style.
have for this great
Another
sporting
pre-race favourite, though,
contest,
losing touch
the Little
with
Penguin
pack.
Sea-Dune
Maybe that's
Race.
why. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion.
Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea-Dune Race. Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea-Dune Race.
Fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one. Whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Borough building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another night of Live Penguin TV. My name is Steven. I'm going to be your host tonight, controlling the cameras. And joining me this evening, we have T.
Hi everybody, I'm Ranger T. I'll be checking all your questions on YouTube, so hopefully you'll have some really difficult questions for Steven. And if you've got any questions on Facebook, don't panic. We've got some wonderful rangers checking on those ones, and they'll get back to you, if not tonight, definitely in the next 24 hours. And just for everybody who's been posting some numbers of penguins last night, we've had a couple of good guesses, but not quite on the mark. We actually had 1959, 1959 last night. So hopefully we'll have really good numbers like that tonight. Have fun. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, T. Wow, 1,959 penguins last night, and they started crossing the beach. I think it was 8:44. So let's see what's going to happen tonight. We never know how many penguins are coming home because they are wild animals and they choose what they want to do. Sometimes they choose to come home. This time of year, a lot of them are coming home to feed their babies, but other times they haven't caught enough fish in the ocean and they'll spend the night sleeping out on the ocean, resting up, and they'll keep fishing tomorrow. They'll only come home once their bellies are nice and full of fish. I do want to say a big welcome to all of our new viewers who are tuning in for the first time. So if you're not sure what you're tuning into tonight, this is a live Penguin TV. We're here on Phillip Island, and we're going to be broadcasting the penguins live into your homes. So we're waiting for the penguins to come home, and they always come home about a half an hour after sunset. Last night was 8:44 is when they decided to start crossing the beach. It's around 8:36 right now, so we might have to wait another 10 minutes and maybe we'll see our first penguins crossing the beach. It's not an exact science. They come when they are ready. And I do want to say a big welcome back to all of our lovely water watchers who are here every night. You may have seen a lot of the hucking in the comments, a nice greeting call that our water watchers do to let each other know that they're here and watching tonight. Now, a huck is what the penguins do when they're trying to gather up into those large groups on the ocean, gathering up into a large raft, getting ready to cross the beach with the safety of numbers. They huck out to each other, a loud, short, sharp sound, huck, 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 huck. They'll make that sound to find each other on the water. And that's what our water watchers do every single night. They huck to each other to help let each other know that they're here, which we think is just such a fantastic thing you guys do. Now, I do want to take this moment as we're looking across this beautiful scenery to acknowledge that we've got almost full stands. Wow, not quite full, but we've got quite a few people on our stands, which is really exciting. Last time I was here, I think we had 50 people in total across the entire penguin parade. We got a few more. Oh, I see some penguins on the water's edge way down there. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. Our first penguins of the night hanging around on the water's edge. Don't know how much I can zoom in, if the camera can handle this zoom. There we go. Lovely to see. I love looking at these little penguins. They're a little bit hesitant. They're definitely not going to cross. Most of them are looking back to the water. A few running back, and as soon as one runs back, the rest are likely to follow. Yeah, there they go. A few of the braver ones, they didn't want to go back into the ocean, but better to be safe than sorry. Now, our penguins are waiting until it is safe to cross the beach, because in the daytime, there are birds of prey who will predate upon penguins. Big raptor-type birds, large birds that eat small animals for food, they will have penguins on the menu. And our penguins are really clever little birds. They know it's not safe to come out of the ocean in the daytime when those big birds of prey are around. They wait until nightfall. They wait for it to get dark enough that all those big scary birds, they go to sleep for the night. They've returned back to their nests and they're not going to be out looking for any penguins. And our penguins are lucky. We don't have owls close to the coast, so there's no nocturnal birds of prey that might try and get them. But it's still a little bit of daylight around. It's not completely dark just yet, so our penguins are being cautious. Some of them are quite eager to get back to their burrows, but the sensible ones, they'll have a little bit more patience. They're going to make sure it's safe for them to cross the beach. Oh, fantastic. I might keep focusing on these lovely little birds, see what they get up to. Now, if you're wondering about those other birds running around the beach, the seagull type birds, those are silver gulls. They are not predators of penguins. They're more scavenger type birds. They're hunting for food around the wet sand. They might also be looking at all the people on the stands, wondering if anybody's brought some fish and chips down to the stands with them. They might snag a fresh fish out of their mouths if they get the chance. They're quite cheeky, our silver gulls. They can get quite aggressive. And at this time of year, it is the breeding season for both our penguins and the silver gulls. And the silver gulls get quite aggressive when they have hungry mouths at home to feed. It's often fun for us rangers here. We always warn people who bring food down to the stands that they're going to get attacked. And nobody takes us seriously. They're like, yeah, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. And as the fish is going straight to their mouth, a silver gull comes and grabs it out of their hands. Never fails to get a laughter out of us. We love seeing it. Feel kind of bad for the people who do lose their food, but at the same time, it's amazing to see nature in action. All right, I'm going to scan across this beach, see if I can spot any other rafts of penguins, any other groups of penguins that are getting ready to cross the beach. And as we're looking across this beautiful area, ooh, I think I see the moon. Ooh, there's a nice little moon up on the horizon there. That should give us some great light tonight to see our penguins. But as we're looking across this beautiful, pristine beach, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the land that we are on and pay my respects to the Bunurong Nation, who are the traditional custodians of this land, and honor their elders both past, present, and emerging. And maybe let us know in the comments who the traditional custodians are of the land where you are viewing from as well. Very important information to know, and we love to hear where you are coming and watching as well. We've had a few interesting comments already. We had somebody, where were they from, T? Was it Barbados?
It was Barbados, yes.
Yeah, and I think they're celebrating their, oh my God, was it their 54th Independence Day?
It was their 54th Independence Day.
Wow, so congratulations. Thanks for tuning in from Barbados. That's the first time I think we've seen that country on our live stream. And our penguins, they appreciate being independent as well because they are wild animals. They are not captive here. They get to choose what they want to do with their destiny, with their life. So they are free to live here on Phillip Island. They choose to live here. We are trying to provide them a safe place to call home. But if they decide one day to get up and leave forever, we will not stop them. They are free to choose what they want to do. All right, it looks like this little group is thinking about crossing the beach. They're hiding in the rocks. We'll have to see if they're brave enough to make that bit of a dangerous dash across the beach. We'll keep an eye on these little penguins. All right. Now, as we're keeping an eye on these penguins, I did mention that we here are helping to keep our penguins safe, giving them a safe place to call home. And we are the Phillip Island Nature Parks. We are a not-for-profit conservation organization. So all the people that you saw on the stands, they spend money on their tickets, and we use tourism to help fund our conservation work. So all of the profits we make from the sales of those tickets are going back into helping our little penguins, which is great because we do a lot of work to help keep these penguins safe. But we also help to keep care of about 1,800 hectares of land. We have the Koalas Conservation Reserve. We also have Churchill Island. Basically, the entire southern coast of Phillip Island is under our care, where we help to keep out invasive species, non-Australian animals and plants. And we help to keep all of the native species intact, healthy, and have a safe place to call home. We like to think of Phillip Island as almost a wildlife sanctuary for a lot of animals. And some are threatened animals, like the Cape Barren goose, and the eastern barred bandicoots. Although the eastern barred bandicoots are, I think, critically endangered. They've just been taken off the extinct in the wild list thanks to the work we're doing here and thanks to the work that Melbourne Zoos has done to help bring their numbers up, which is fantastic. We don't have a taxidermy of an eastern barred bandicoot, but I do have this cute little plushie here. It's roughly the size of an eastern barred bandicoot. They're about just under a kilogram in weight. They fit in your hands. And they are tiny, tiny little marsupials. They have pouch young when they have babies. And at their lowest, these guys got down to 19 adults left in the Melbourne Zoo. The DNA came from the 19 adults in the Melbourne Zoo. I think they had about 23 adults at their lowest. And the Melbourne Zoo started up a breeding program, bringing their numbers back up. And we've released just over 60 or so bandicoots here in the Summerlin Peninsula where the penguin parade is. They're no threat to our penguins. They are not carnivorous by any stretch. They might eat a couple of bugs here and there. But yeah, they're lovely and they're just thriving here, which is fantastic to see. Our researchers go out and make sure that they're doing well here on the island. And we're seeing them spread into other areas and they're really good for the soil. They're helping to bring back a lot of nutrients because they dig under the ground, they aerate the soil, which is really good. Ooh, where are these penguins going? They're running back. Don't run all the way back. Don't run all the way back. Oh dear. I heard Rachel just said that there was a start to the count. Hopefully she didn't jump the gun. These penguins looked like they had crossed almost halfway across the beach. Although these ones down at the bottom, they're not perturbed. They're going to keep pushing ahead. Wonderful. Now we'll wait for a bigger group to count before they cross the beach. This one's a bit of a small group. I don't think it would pose a challenge to our wattle watchers as to how many are in this group getting ready to cross the beach. But we'll have to see even if they do cross the beach. They might turn around and Rachel might have to call a different time to the start of the count. But if you wanted to help our penguins, you can click the link in the video description. It goes to our charity organization, the Penguin Foundation. The website's changed recently, but you can still adopt a penguin. I'm not sure if the Penguin Pal is still a feature or not. I haven't talked to the people who've designed the website. I meant to do that before I started the stream tonight, but I forgot. But there's still a ways to donate to our Penguin Foundation, and the money does go into a lot of good things like our wildlife clinic, where if you had been watching, was it Friday? I can't remember which night it was, where Jordan saw, or Megan was doing the stream, she saw a penguin that had been entangled in something. And Jordan, one of our other streamers, was down on the stands, managed to capture that penguin, get them free from their entanglement, and release them live in front of the cameras, which was a pretty special show. That was pretty fantastic. And if the penguin had been injured by that entanglement, if there was a bit of blood on them or it cut them a little bit, we could have taken them to our wildlife clinic where we could have taken care of them. Luckily for our penguin that was entangled, they were not injured and they were able to be released back in the same night that they got captured, which is ideal. We do not want to take our penguins to the wildlife clinic. We would rather that we just fix the problem right there and then put them back into the wild. It's a lot less stressful for them. I know quite a few of you have been wondering what that entanglement was, and I'm going to be completely honest, we still don't know. We have been having a look at it and we're not even sure what it's made of. We're thinking it might not be plastic. It might be maybe silicone, maybe an adhesive. It could be even organic. We're not 100% sure. All of our researchers are posting pictures and putting it out to their fellow scientists, fellow researchers, trying to figure out what it is. We don't want to give you our guesses until we know for sure. So honestly, we still don't know. We do want to tell you it is fascinating to us. Sometimes things that get washed up on our beach confuse us. We're not entirely sure what they are. There's still a lot that we don't know about the environment and things that come from the environment. And it's always exciting for us when we discover something we don't know. All right, these little penguins are definitely crossing the beach. And if you wanted to become one of our penguin counters, this wouldn't be a challenge for you. You could count these penguins in no time. Less than 10. I think, what was it? 8 penguins there? I should have been counting a bit more carefully. All of you who are watching in the comments, let me know if I got that number right. Too busy thinking about what I should be talking about and not paying attention to how many penguins are crossing. They're waddling up their beach. It's not a big group. I'll see if I can spot another big group. Yep, there they are. I figured that small group was not the main wave of penguins crossing this beach. Let's go for the quantity we have right here. So maybe have a guess as to how many penguins you think are in this group right here. This one's a little more challenging to count. Quite a few more penguins and they zigzag back and forth. Some are going really fast and then stop and others go past them. It's really tricky to count these penguins. I'm keeping this camera still for as long as I can, giving all of you a chance at home to give it your very best go at counting them. All right, I'm gonna have to move this. I think I've disappeared behind my face, which is no good. You guys don't wanna look at me all the time. You wanna look at the penguins. Look at them, they're dashing across the beach, really getting a wriggle on. They're getting to the safety of our sand dune rocks. And once they get there, they tend to slow down a little bit. So put a guess. And how many are in this group? We're gonna give you a bit more time. I just heard it over the radio. I didn't actually hear the number, but T's been listening in. We'll give you another 30 seconds or so to get a guess in the comments to let us know how many you thought were in that group. Now, we do like to call groups on land a waddle of penguins. That's their unofficial grouping name, a waddle penguins, a waddle of penguins. Because as you notice, when they do walk, they definitely have a waddle to their walk. And how are we going for questions? T, give me one question before we shout out the number in that first group.
First question is, they sleep, from Jenny, they sleep for 4 minutes at a time. How many times a day do they have to do that?
Lots. Lots and lots. They have to sleep lots and lots of times. I couldn't tell you exactly how many times they do sleep. It does vary depending on what they're doing, where they are. I can tell you that when they're on the ocean in the daytime, they're not sleeping as much. They're sleeping a bit less because that's where their food is. That's when they can see their food. So they're going to be diving a lot more and doing a lot more activity. But when it's nighttime on the ocean, they'll sleep more because they can't see their fish in the dark. At least they shouldn't be able to see their fish in the dark. So they're sleeping a bit more, resting up a little bit more, so they'll sleep more at night. But when it comes to land, it's the opposite. On land in the daytime, they are stuck in their burrows, like this wooden box we have right in front of us here. They can't go outside because there are birds of prey. And I need to swap over to our penguin highway. Let's get a look at that. So there will be birds of prey in the daytime that will grab them if they come outside. So they can't leave their homes. They're stuck at home and they'll sleep a lot more. They'll rest a lot more in the daytime. I love this highway camera. But at nighttime, that's the party time for penguins on land. They're awake most of the night singing to each other. During the breeding season, there's lots of courtship behaviors, lots of mating behaviors, lots of fighting among the males. Very exciting time of year, especially at night here on Phillip Island. The penguins can get quite rowdy. There we go. Some really good waddles among these penguins. All right, I might swap back. There we go. Let's see if we can spot what our penguins are doing here on the beach. Ooh, quite a few people down there. Don't really know if they want to be on camera tonight. Oh, not too much happening down here. Let's see if there's any more on the beach. I see a few on the highway. Not too many big groups. Ooh, something spooked a few of you. Wonder if there's something scary on this beach that's scaring our penguins. Half of them seem to have saw something, and the other half are wondering, what are you guys doing? Should we be following you? Is there something scary around here? Let us know. Sometimes penguins, when they're crossing the beach, they'll get spooked by their own shadows. It's not really a rhyme or reason. They might see a sudden movement out of the corner of their eye. They don't know what it is, but their instant reaction is, let's run back to safety. It's much better to be safe than sorry when you're crossing the beach. This is the most dangerous part of their day. So if they're a little skittish, if some of them decide to run back, it's perfectly natural. Nothing to be too concerned about. They're just being cautious as they're crossing this beach. Now I know when we were asked how many times do penguins sleep, I kind of answered it without giving you an exact number because honestly, I don't know how many times a penguin will sleep in a day. But they sleep quite a bit. Quite a few times is what I wanted to say. Any more questions, T?
So before we go into another question, we've had a couple of really good guesses of that first group. Yep. So Belinda, I think, was the closest at 120. We actually had 136 in that first group.
Well, Belinda with a guess of 120 when we had 136. That's a very good estimate. Yeah, it's definitely a really good go at counting our penguins. It's a very tricky job trying to get the numbers exactly right, and it's very difficult for you at home looking through a camera. It's not as high definition as your own eyes would be if you were here in person. You'd have a much better chance, and especially when I'm controlling the camera and unable to get all of the penguins in. So there might have been 120 penguins in that shot that we had on screen, and there might have been a few penguins off at the back that I just couldn't fit onto the frame. It's a really good guess. All right, we got lots of penguins here on the rocks, preening their feathers, socializing a little bit before they go home, stopping off at the salon before they head back to their burrows. Now our penguins are going back to their burrows because it is the breeding season. We're right in the middle of the breeding season. We've had a first clutch of eggs already that have already been hatched, grown up, and they've fledged. And a lot of our penguins are getting onto their second clutch of eggs. Now, I haven't heard how many eggs we have in the colony recently. Have you heard any updates on that, T?
We've got about 60% sitting on eggs
There
at
we
the
go.
moment.
60% of our burrows here are sitting on eggs, which is a lot. That means that second clutch is well underway. And we'll soon, hopefully not too long, we'll start seeing some chicks again. Now, if you want to see more chicks, you'd have to come down here in person. Unfortunately, our cameras don't go all the way into the penguin colony, so we can't show you every cute little baby chick that we have. But if we're lucky, we might be able to get one on camera tonight.
And the other thing that the camera doesn't do, we don't have smell-o-vision either.
We don't have smell-o-vision. That is right. Our cameras are not very good at picking up any smells, and when you come to the penguin parade, it does smell, especially during the breeding season. If any of you have had kids at home, or you know somebody who's had babies at home, if you've ever had a baby, you know how much babies smell. And penguins are no different. Their babies make quite a pungent odor. They're stuck at home all day, eating nonstop, pooping nonstop, making a big old mess. And the whole colony gets quite pungent this time of year. Now, it shouldn't be too bad for us right now, because we did have some rain last night, and that rain would have helped to wash away a lot of our smells. Look at these guys go. Oh, come on, camera. Not very good at keeping up with our quick penguins on their journey home. Let's see if we can zoom in on them. There we go. And off they go. They're wandering down the Penguin Highway on their journey home. Some of these guys are lucky they live pretty close to the beach, but these fellas, they might live up to 2 kilometers away, almost 2 kilometers away. So they're going to have a long trek ahead of them. They're not going to go in one big spurt. They're going to have lots of little short spurts of running or waddling their way home, and then they're going to rest. They'll have quite a few rests on their way home. There's no real rush to get there. They're just trying to beat the sunrise. That's the only time frame that they have to get home before, because they don't want to be outside on land in the daytime. But that's not going to happen. It shouldn't take our penguins more than a few hours to get home. Ooh, that little penguin just jumped into the window there. You can't get in there, buddy. There's glass. We cleaned it too well. Love looking at these guys. I might swap back over to the main. Let's see what's going on over here. Tons of penguins on these rocks still. Might be another group that just came up behind and are bustling their way through. Yep, there's quite a few penguins behind these guys. Wow. Love to see it.
So I've got one question for you, Stephen, that's pretty poignant with all of the chicks around.
Yep.
How much do penguins eat in a day?
Penguins eat, well, enough to make sure that they're healthy and happy and ready to go. If they want to raise chicks, they need to eat around 30% of their body weight in order to have enough food for themselves and to feed their chicks. I think that's the number. I'm going to have to talk to my researcher friends to make sure I got that one right. I'm pretty sure it's around 30% of their body weight. And these guys weigh around 1 kilogram, give or take, on average. And that's around 300 grams that they need to eat before they'll come home. Imagine trying to eat 30% of your body weight. That's a lot of food. And these guys are going to carry that food home in their bellies. And when they get home to their chicks, they will regurgitate. They will vomit it into their babies' mouths, which again just adds to the lovely aroma that we have here at the Penguin Parade. And when our penguins have babies, they always have 2 eggs. Now, usually they'll try and hatch both eggs if they can. Sometimes one of the eggs isn't able to hatch. Sometimes they might have only 1 chick. Being nature, these things do happen. But good parents will be able to raise both of their chicks up if they're really good at fishing and able to do so. They always want to try to raise both their babies. That's the end goal for them. And if they're lucky and they can get that 30% of their body weight in their tummies, they should have enough food to feed their chicks. Lovely. All right, I'm going to zoom out and see what's happening on the beach a little bit, because there's been some good groups already. I just want to see if there's any more groups coming out. Oh, it looks a little bit quiet. Oh, there we go. I thought there should be some groups right down there in these rocks. I'll zoom in on them really quick. Now just keep a look above my head. You will see on the Penguin Highway the odd couple of penguins wandering past. I'm trying to keep an eye on that to make sure I get any big groups that come out. But I might miss them from time to time. I apologize if I do. Wonderful.
So I've got another question, Stephen.
Go ahead, T.
From Ashley. She wants to know, have our penguins met any other species of penguin?
Have our penguins met any other species of penguins? Well, No other species call Phillip Island their home. It's just the little penguins, sorry, Australia their home, not just Phillip Island. It's just the little penguins that we have here in Australia. But we do have a couple of other species that do visit from time to time. Ooh, another big group ahead there. The Fiordland penguins have been spotted on our beaches here. I'm not sure if they've ever interacted with our penguins beyond passing them by. Our penguins probably wouldn't want to have too much to do with them, being that they are such larger animals, such larger penguins than they are. So yes, they would probably have passed a few, especially if they're out on the ocean, as they do tend to swim around long distances, but they don't call this place their home, so they just be passers-by for the most part. Wow. Our penguins are going out to the ocean, as I said, to catch lots of food. 30% of their body weight is what they're trying to get inside their bellies. It might take them a few days to do that. Some of the really good fishes can do that in a single day. They're very highly effective parents. But yeah, I love a lot of food. There's lots of really good food that they do like to eat. Pilchards, small fish of a variety of sorts, squid. They'll even eat sea jellies, jellyfish. Lots of little foods. And unfortunately, as you may have seen, some of our penguins get a bit too close to the plastic out in the ocean. There's lots of plastic in our oceans these days. Microplastics, those tiny, tiny pieces of plastics. When the plastic breaks down into smaller and smaller bits, around 90% of seabirds in the world have plastic in their bellies today. So 9 out of 10 of all the seabirds you see, albatrosses, penguins, seagulls, shearwaters, any seabirds that live their life out on the ocean, roughly 9 out of 10 will have plastic in their bellies, which is a terrible stat. So we're always asking you at home to think about your plastic use. Think about how you can reduce the amount of plastic that you have in your daily lives. And I know it's not possible to really get away from plastic. It's everywhere in our lives. We're not asking you to be perfect by any stretch. We're just asking you to maybe think about making a start. If everybody in the world makes one change into their life, it would make a massive difference to our penguins. And these changes could be things like bringing your own bags to the supermarket, which most people seem to be doing these days. It could be getting your own keep cups. So when you go and get a coffee at the store, you're not getting those disposable cups that you chuck in the bin. You're getting those reusable ones that you wash and take it in the next time you need to get a coffee. All of these things do make a big difference to the environment. And while you yourself may not be able to change the world, you could make the world of difference for a little penguin out there just by getting your plastic out of the ocean. I do love looking at these guys preening themselves here on the resting rocks. Don't see too much social preening going on just yet. They're mostly doing it themselves. Occasionally you'll see a penguin that's preening another penguin, giving them a helpful beak to get all their feathers around their heads and their necks that they can't reach themselves. All right, lovely. Any more questions, T?
There was one question from Catherine from Townsville. Do they drink fresh water?
Do our penguins drink fresh water? Not really, no, they drink salt water. Our penguins are pretty special little creatures. They have a gland just around their eyes, just that helps to filter out all of the salt out of the salt water that they drink. And if you see penguins that are home on land and they're shaking their heads, and you might see little specks flying off around their tear ducts, those are little, around their nose even, those are little bits of salt they're shaking away from their eyes and their nose to help clear out the salt. It gets filtered out through there and they lose it that way. So they have little salt filtration devices inbuilt into their eyes, and now just behind their eyes in their gland. And it really does a good job at helping them to stay hydrated even when they're drinking salt water. I love seeing these penguins going up the hill. We got a few penguins around here. I'm just wondering if any of these might be chicks. Oh, come on and focus, camera, you can do it. They look pretty fluffy. They look like they're going up to attack the adults. Are you my mom? Are you my dad? Feed me. Yeah, those are definitely chicks. The adults are saying, nope, I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. Get away from me. I only want to feed my own babies. They're going to ask enough food for me. I don't have enough to feed you. Now the babies, these babies, ooh, how old would they be? I can't really see their feathers too well. Fairly young, maybe 4-ish
Okay.
weeks of age.
I'll go 4 going on 5.
4 going on 5, yeah, roughly around that age. Hard to get an exact, age when the cameras aren't as clear as I'd like them. I can't see how many adult feathers they have versus baby feathers. But anyways, roughly, let's say just over a month of age. They don't really know who mom and dad are. They go up to every single adult they see asking for food. They are eternally optimistic, our baby penguins. They're chicks. They love asking any adult for food. All right, we've got a few minutes left in the stream. We're going to have to wind up in the near future. So we'll keep an eye out for more baby penguins. Well, we'll keep our eyes on these ones. They're pretty cute. We'll keep our eye out for any more big groups. But if you have any questions, make sure you put some in the comments. I think we can get a few more questions before we go. We've gotten some really good ones so far. I haven't had any that have truly stumped me just yet, besides what was that entanglement made of, that we're still trying to figure that one out. But how do we go, Auntie? Any difficult questions yet?
Oh, you might be able to get stumped on this one.
Oh, good.
Talis wants to know, when they preen each other, do they use their own oil gland, or do they just help groom the other penguins?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I've been observing these penguins for long enough. You'd think I would have noticed that type of behavior. I would say that they would be helping to oil them up, but I'm not sure I've ever seen a penguin going to their oil gland and then focusing solely on the other neck. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. That's a really good question. Do you know the answer to that one, T? No?
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's something that we can observe here. I'll just go out one time when I'm on the boardwalks and watch the penguins. That's the bonus of working here at the Penguin Parade. Sometimes, if I need to satisfy my curiosity, I will just keep an eye on what's happening in the colony and answer those lovely questions that I sometimes get asked. What a great question. That's something that I got to look forward to next time I'm out on the stands. Lovely little group coming along here. You can see another big group in the top right corner of the stream as well. They're just hanging around on those rocks, stomping their way across this dried up grass. Alrighty, just a couple of more minutes left. Really, we're almost at the end. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's always so much fun doing the live stream every night that I'm here. I've never had a bad night doing this. At least a night that I haven't enjoyed. It's so much fun watching these penguins on their journey home, watching real wildlife, real wild animals doing what they do in nature. And we do want to invite all of you to come down to Phillip Island, come see these lovely penguins in person. Whoa, hello. And you'll be able to see just how wonderful they are. You'll get to hear them singing to each other all night long. And just by coming to visit our penguins here on Phillip Island, you will be helping them, because all the money we make from profits goes back into helping these penguins and other animals as well that we have on Phillip Island. So we'd love to see you if we get the chance. And if you are unable to visit, maybe you're viewing from overseas and you still want to help out our little penguins, feel free to hit our link in the description to the Penguin Foundation. You will be able to adopt a penguin or donate money to our Penguin Foundation, and that will go back to our penguins.
And on that note, Stephen, you can also adopt other animals now. So you can adopt eastern barred bandicoots.
Wow. You can adopt an eastern barred
You can
bandicoot.
adopt koalas.
I did not know that. I'm going to have to check out that website again. It's been going through a bit of progress. It's really cool. So other animals to adopt, not just our wonderful penguins, although they are the stars of the show tonight. And we do love seeing them. So if you want to adopt a penguin, we would appreciate that. It's always really good. I want you to know it is a symbolic adoption. Occasionally we get asked the question, so where do I pick up my penguin? I want to take it home with me. You don't get to take a penguin home with you, unfortunately. But the money we do use helps to take care of the penguins, and it is very useful. All right, I think we have time for one last question, T. Any more?
No, there wasn't any other
Oh, we ran out of
difficult
questions.
questions.
Oh, give me an easy one then.
I was just really excited about being able to adopt the bandicoots and the koalas.
Yeah, that's really excited. I'm actually going to have to check out the website. I don't see any more penguins crossing the beach just now. A couple of penguins on the sand. Those might be shell gritters down here. So females with eggs, are they pecking away at the sand a little bit? Ooh, the camera can't really focus in on them too much. But it looks like the penguins are slowly winding down their evening. The penguins are resting on these rocks here. A lot of them are going on their journey home. And it might be time for us to head on our journey home as well. So we'll say goodbye to you tonight. I will be on with T tomorrow night as well. We look forward to seeing a lot of you tomorrow night. And if you're unable to come down, tune in night after night. The stream will be going on for a little bit longer, and we hope to see you guys tuning in every night. It's so much fun sharing the penguins with you. I do want to say a big thank you for coming on. Do you want to say bye, T?
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again. See you tomorrow night.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.